that Rashi says, judge your friend, chavercha, your friend. And you may have asked yourself, the Mishnah doesn't say your friend. The Mishnah says, Avidanes kol adam, every person favorably. Rashi says your friend. If you notice that, you were spot on. We're going to learn some halachas today that's going to be an important diuk. Hold steady. So, but said that Tishbar HaMisecha is a mitzvah daraisa. A yid's obligated to wear tefillin. A yid's obligated to judge somebody favorably. Mitzvah daraisa. Now, what's very, very hard to understand is on the Mishnah and Avos, Havedanes kol adam l'kav schus. Maybe we should have learned this at night. But on that Mishnah and Avos, the Rambam says it's midas hachasidim. It's extra credit. The Rambam calls it midas hachasidus. That chasidim, people who go above the letter of the law, are danes kol adam l'kav schus. Did the Rambam hold it's not a chiyuv, it's not an obligation to judge people favorably? Menachem Snyder, the Rambam, in Hilchas Deis, Perek Halacha Zayin, speaks about the behavior of a Talmud Chacham. He says a Talmud Chacham shouldn't scream loudly in a room. He describes the behavior, he should speak softly and nicely. And he describes behaviors of Talmidei Chachamim. And one of the things the Rambam says, Tzviki Lif, about a Talmud Chacham is Vidones Kol Adam L'kav Schus. He brings the Mishnah and Avos that a Talmud Chacham should judge people favorably. And the question seems apparent that the Rambam holds Chasidus. He says a Talmud Chacham. Do you think the Rambam says a Talmud Chacham shouldn't eat chazer? Nobody's allowed to eat chazer. Does the Rambam say a Talmud Chacham shouldn't talk Lashon Hara? Nobody's allowed to talk Lashon Hara. Well, guess what? The Rambam says a Talmud Chacham should judge people favorably. Perek Halacha Zayin, he says a Talmud Chacham should judge people favorably. Sounds like it's not a chiyuv, it's not an obligation, it's chasidus. So we have two Rambams who seems to say judging people favorably is chasidus, is extra credit. However, my friends, that can't be, because the Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvahs, in Mitzvah Kuf Ayin Zayin, on the Mitzvah B'tzedek Tishbeit HaMisecha, on that Mishnah, on that pasuk in our Parashas Kedoshim that says B'tzedek, in righteousness, Tishbeit HaMisecha, shall you judge your nation. The Rambam says 3 pshatim in the Mitzvah D'Oraisa. It's in Sefer HaMitzvahs, Mitzvahs Asei Kuf Ayin Zayin. Positive command 177. The Rambam says a mitzvah means an obligation, not extra credit. The Yesh Bay'oid, his third pshat, he has 3 pshatim. Pshat number 1 is both litigants have to be treated evenly. You can't talk harshly when a dayan is judging. He can't talk harshly to one, softly to the other. He can't give a better seat to one than the other. That's b'tzedek. Equally are both litigants to be treated. Pshat number 2 is that if you know how to judge, you have to judge. We could talk about that topic for hours. If you have an ability, you got to use it. B'tzedek Tishbeit HaMisecha says if you have the capacity to judge, you are mechuyev midaraisa to judge. Somebody might say judging is so dangerous, I might not do it right, so I'm not going to do it at all. You're mechuyev to judge. That's a topic we can talk about that for hours. That there are many people in many areas say, I might not do it right, so I'm not going to do it. If you know how to judge, you're obligated to judge. What an amazing mitzvah. A chiyuv daraisa. If you know how, you must. That, to me, that's incredible, but it's not the topic of today's conversation. But the third pshat the Rambam says is a chiyuv daraisa. It's the 177th mitzvah saseh, says the Rambam, Sharoi loden es chaveiroi l'kav schos. You must judge your friend positively. His actions and his words, you should only explain l'toiv v'chesed, for good and in kindness. You're obligated midaraisa to be down l'kav schos. Rabbi say, my friends, we have a stira in Rambams. In Sefer HaMitzvah, Mitzvah Kufay and Zayin, the Rambam says his friend, he is obligated midaraisa to judge favorably. It's a mitzvah saseh, mitzvahs applied to every single Jew, men, woman, every single yid as a chiyuv daraisa. If you see your friend behaving, to judge him favorably. Rambam Sefer HaMitzvahs, Mitzvah Aseh 177. To the Rambam in Yada Chazak and Hilchas Deis, where he says a Talmud Chacham should judge people favorably. A Talmud Chacham should be done l'kav schus. The Rambam in Pirkei Avos, who says Chasidus, it's extra credit, judge people favorably. And my friends, the question begs, what we have a steer in Rambam, a contradiction in Rambam. What's going on? So please bear with me. Let us study the words of Rabbeinu Yoina. I wanna add to the confusion. Rashi brings Chazal. You know what? We'll get to that later on. I could ask more questions. You guys know I'm not into that. Let's learn the truth and we'll get answers. And then you can ask as many questions as you want. Rabbi say, let's learn Rabbeinu Yoina. Rabbeinu Yoina tells us the laws of Dam L'Kav Schus. It's one of the most fascinating mitzvahs in the Torah. It's an obligation. This is not extra credit. And we'll discuss Shittas HaRambam in a minute. But the Rambam, there's an obligation to judge people favorably. All of us have a mitzvah daraisa. I think it behooves us to study our mitzvah. We have to wear tefillin. We buy tefillin. We know what tefillin are. And we learn how to put them on. Me and you have an obligation midaraisa in our brains. There's one of the most interesting mitzvahs in the Torah to view people favorably. So let's find out what our chiyuv is. So the best place that I know to look when you want to get the laws in this halacha, somebody who's mifaret, who explains it very exact, is Rabbeinu Yoina. Rabbeinu Yoina in Reish Yud Ches, in Shar Shlishi, Reish Yud Ches, in Shari Tshuva, in Ois Reish Yud Ches, goes through the laws, 218. He goes through the laws of Dam L'Kav Schos. He helps us. He gives us the practical law of our command that you and I are obligated. He tells us the law. And the Rabbeinu Yoina writes as fast. I'm not going to read it inside because Zoom and reading inside doesn't work so well. But there is two words I want to read inside because my own Rabbeinu Yoina, I made a question mark years ago, probably when I was a bacher. I made a question mark, and it's funny, some things later in life, you answer your question marks. If I was reading the Rabbeinu Yoina fresh today, and I have the same question mark. I want to rewrite the question mark. I might make a note on the question mark 18, and then again now at 27, that I'm 27 years old, I have the same question mark. But I do have the same question, or maybe one of the chevra, maybe Nafti will have an answer. Rabbeinu Yoina writes, the following is the law. There are three people, and depending on the type of person is how the law applies. If you have somebody who has Yirah Shamayim, if somebody has fear of heaven, a person with Yirah Shamayim, he says, I'm going to read the words that I questioned. He says, you're chayiv to judge him l'kav schos al derech emes. I don't know what he means with those three words, al derech emes. I'm not sure what Rabbeinu Yoina means. Dam l'kav schos, judge somebody favorably. He says, judge them favorably, al derech emes. I don't know if he means to concoct like a good story. I mean, of course, if you're judging him favorably, you're not making up something stupid. So I don't know what he's saying, al derech emes. If somebody has a pshat, please talk to me privately, PM me privately, and then we'll talk about it. That word al derech emes, I don't know what Rabbeinu Yoina means. But let's get the laws. If somebody's a tzaddik, they have Yira Shemayim, then even if they did an action that totally looks bad, it's Naita L'Kav Chayv. What they did really looks bad. You're obligated midaraisa to judge them favorably. You have to twist the story and judge them favorably.
Where did you get this from?
Even if it's
really
not a
loves you,
50-50. If
What?
a person's a
I don't
Yira
hate that stuff.
Shemayim and they do an action that completely looks bad,
Can eat
you
one
see
even?
a tzaddik get
Doesn't he?
mad and berate somebody,
Only had tea and Coke.
it's not a 50-50 deal. It's like 98-2. It pashut looks, hey, the guy lost his cool. If they have Yira Shemayim, you're obligated to be dan l'kav schus, even if the action is naita l'kav chayv. That's on a tzaddik. If you see a tzaddik do an action and it looks completely messed up what he did, it's like ridiculous. It's naita l'kav chayv. You're obligated midaraisa. It's not a nice thing in your brain. You have to interpret it l'kav schus. We discussed you're allowed to explain why he really was right. You're allowed to say he was a shaygeg. You're allowed to say he obviously did tshuva right after. Any way you can just look at it favorably, you're obligated. It's not a chasidus. It's a chiyuv. That's one. An average person, if he's a beinani, the average yid, a regular yid, a nice guy, he says, who is careful not to do averis, but sometimes he slips. A beinani, a normal yid, who's careful, tries not to do averis, but sometimes slip. Then says Rabbeinu Yoina, the law is as follows. If it's 50-50, you're mechoyev to judge him favorably. Chayev d'oraisa. But if it looks bad, then you're mechoyev not to judge. You don't have to assume he's doing right. You're mechoyev to say, I just don't know. If a yid's a beinani, a regular yid who tries not to do bad and slips sometimes, 50-50, he does a maisa that's easily interpreted two ways. Chiyuv d'oraisa to judge him favorably. If it looks bad, you're obligated not to judge him. I love this. It's one of my favorite halachas in the world. If a regular person does an act that looks bad, you're obligated not to judge. It's none of your business. A big thinker said the same way you don't look at a person who's dressed inappropriately. It's none of your business to look there. It's none of your business. You don't judge. You're obligated. Chiyuv d'oraisa. A regular yid does an action that looks bad. Your chiyuv is not to judge him. If it's 50-50, it's a mental chiyuv. Amazingly, God says 50-50. I have to, don't think you think. Really think. Sit down and say why he was doing good. Interpret it, l'tayv. You're obligated. This is not a nice, you put on tzitzis, you wear tefillin. A yid does a 50-50 situation. Say him l'tayv. You're obligated to judge him favorably. If it looks bad, it's not 50-50. You're mechuyev to say, I just don't know. I'm not judging. I'm out. I can't judge. You're mechuyev to say, I just don't know and not judge. You don't have to actively see it with tayv. Then Rabbeinu Yoina says on a rasha, you judge unfavorably. A rasha, even if it looks good, you're allowed to be machriya maisav l'kav chayva. There's no chiyuv to judge him favorably. Even when he does good, be suspicious of a rasha. Even when he does chesed l'umim chatas, even when he does good, you can be suspicious of a rasha. This is the psak of Rabbeinu Yoina. Hear this, Rabbi say. Hear this. Says the Chavetz Chaim to answer the steer in the Rambam. I'm going to say the Chavetz Chaim's answer first because the Chavetz Chaim deserves always to go first. So I'm going to say his answer. Then I'm going to say my attempt at an answer of this steer in Rambam's. That the Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvahs said it's a chiyuv to judge favorably. And the Rambam in Hilchas Deya says that Talmidei Chachamim should judge favorably. The Rambam in Avos says it's chasidus. Says the Chavetz Chaim as follows. The Chavetz Chaim can be found in his introduction to the Aseis when he speaks about Lashon Hara. And he says all the Aseis that your person's over when they speak Lashon Hara. So in the Be'er Mayim Chaim, the Chavetz Chaim's footnotes at the bottom, in the Asay portion in Gimel, the Chavetz Chaim writes as follows. He asks this contradiction in Rambam's and he offers the following answer. Says the Chavetz Chaim that when it says Havidanis Kol Adam L'Kav Zchus, there's a difference like this. If you know the guy is a good person, it's your friend, you recognize he's a normal yid, so you're mechoyev at 50-50 to judge him favorably. A Rasha, you're not mechoyev to judge favorably. Says the Chavetz Chaim, if you don't know is a guy a Rasha or not, you never met him, you are not mechoyev to judge him favorably. You don't know him, you're not mechoyev, he might be a Rasha. Now you can't judge him negatively, you just have no halach on you. You don't know him, there is no din to judge him favorably. Says the Chavetz Chaim brilliantly, Dan lekav zchus, and that's what Rashi brings the Chazal, is judge your chaver. Your chaver means you know him. The Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvahs says judge your chaver lekav zchus. You know him, he's your friend. You know he's a normal person. You're obligated on a 50-50 jump ball to judge him favorably. Even it's a pick'em. You're obligated to judge him favorably. In Avos it says Avidanes Kol Adam L'Kav Zchus, every man. Sounds like you don't know him. That's Chasidus. When the Rambam in Hilchos Deya says Talmidecham judge favorably, he doesn't say they're friends. He says they're Danes Kol Adam L'Kav Zchus. He brings the Mishnah in Avos. A Talmud Chacham judges even people he doesn't know. So they might be Rishon Tzadikim, he has no idea. He still judges. That's Chasidus. That's Lefnim Mishuras Hadin. Somebody you don't know, you're in a pizza store, you're buying pizza, and a guy like cuts the line. Maybe he's a rude guy. In halacha, you're not obligated to judge him favorably. You just, I don't know, I have no idea. You're not obligated. He might be a Russian. Maybe he's a rude guy. If your friend in the pizza store cuts the line, you have a chiyuv d'oraisa. It's 50-50. Maybe he didn't chap, there was a line. Maybe he has crazy pressures. His wife needs a pizza, she's going to faint. I don't know. If it's your friend walks into the pizza store as a good guy, you have a chiyuv d'oraisa to be down l'kav zchus. On a guy you don't know, you're not obligated. Tzadikim adanes kol adam l'kav zchus. That's Lefnim Mishuras Hadin. That's extra credit. Amazing Chavetz Chaim. His diyuk that the Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvah says your friend, you're obligated to down l'kav zchus. He says your chaver is the lashon of the Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvah. He said Sharoi Lodin is chaveroi l'kav zchus is the mitzvah. The Rambam who says Talmidei Chachamim, he doesn't say they judge their friends. That's a chiyuv. They're danes kol adam. Great Rambam. Great Chavetz Chaim. He doesn't need my askama. Brilliant. I want to taina on the Chavetz Chaim that it always bothered me, the Gemara Shabbos. The Gemara Shabbos we studied earlier, Kuf Chav Zayin, says on the top of Amud Beis, Hadon Chaver L'Kav Zchus, if you judge your friend favorably, Don and Oisei L'Zchus, in Shamayim, they'll judge you favorably. It always bothered me, it's a chiyuv. Why does it say like if you do it, a nice reward? It's not like a nice thing. You're obligated. Very peculiar Gemara. If you judge your friend favorably, they'll do it to you. Enticing. You're obligated. It's not like a nice mila. You're obligated to Amichavskos. According to the Chavetz Chaim, the Gemara in Shabbos is talking about Lefnim Mishuras Hadin. If you're dan l'kav zchus beyond the letter of the law, even people you don't know, so then in Shemayim they dan you l'kav zchus. Your chaver is not a luxury, you're obligated to dan l'kav zchus. Even if you don't know this fellow, you're done as kol adam, they dan you l'kav zchus. So the Gemara in Shabbos is saying it is a Lefnim Mishuras Hadin. It's above the letter of the law. Rabbeinu Yoina doesn't learn this way because on the Chiyuv he brings the Gemara in Shabbos. But the Rambam, who's learning there's a Chasidus, this will be Pshat in the Ram and the Gemara Shabbos. I want to say a knetch different than the Chavetz Chaim. It's not as meduktik as the Chavetz Chaim, but I think it's true. I think it's true. So I want to say a knetch different than the Chavetz Chaim. The halacha is that if your friend is a regular person, a beinani, who tries to do good and sometimes slips, a 50-50 ball, you're mechuyev to dan and makav schos. If it looks ridiculous, you're mechuyev not to judge. I want to say that there's a lufnim mishur sadin avidanis kol adam makav schos. Not it means you're mesupik as a rasha or a tzaddik. And I have reasons to say different than the Chavetz Chaim. It bothers me. It should be a suffix daraisa, l'chumra. He might not be a Rasha. It bothers me, the Chavetz Chaim. Chavetz Chaim says, if I'm not sure, is it tzaddik and a Rasha, so I don't have to be done in l'kav schus. Why isn't it a suffix daraisa, l'chumra? It bothers me on the Rambam. I don't know pshat in the Chavetz Chaim. Suffix daraisa, l'chumra. What it's a suffix Russia, but it's a suffix not Russia. Suffix daraisa, unless he means because on a Russia you're not allowed to be dam l'kav schus. There's no isser b'davar. So l'chayra dam l'kav schus suffix daraisa l'chayra. Unless somehow the Chavetz Chaim the Russia you're not allowed. So then I don't know what it bothers me. What I want a tiny rabbi says as follows: on a regular yid, you're mechuyev 50-50 to see it positive. But if it looks bad, you just don't judge. Havedanis kol adam l'kav schus says, even when it looks horrible, get in the habit of seeing good. That's chasidus. The chiyuv is 50-50 on a regular yid to be dam l'kav schus. When it looks bad, only on tzadikim dam l'kav schus. Havedanis kol adam means like this, chevra. Dam l'kav schus is on a tzaddik. On a tzaddik, when it looks bad, you put it l'tzad schus, you're mechoyev. Having done is kol adam l'kav schus. Treat everybody like a tzaddik. That's chasidus. Talmidei chachamim see everybody as tzaddikim. Lani, it's emes. This is true pshat, Rabbi say. I'm positive. Havidam as the chasidus of dam l'kav schus. The ikar adin is on tzadikim. On tzadikim, no matter what, you're dam l'kav schus. It can look horrible. A tzaddik walks into the pizza shop and he says, "Everybody, I'm going first." So the guy's mamish pushed. You're obligated midaraisa to see him good, to see he had a cheshbon. You're obligated. You wore tefillin. Having done this, it means the spitz down the kavschus. When it looked bad and I pushed it favorable, that wasn't the chiyuv on every person. But having done this, the spitz down the kavschus when it looked bad, and I say it's good. Tzaddikim do that to everybody. That's not a chiyuv. The chiyuv on a regular person was not to judge. That's what tzaddikim and talmidei chachamim, and that's chasidus. That Rabbi Lanius Daita is emes lamita. And when the Gemara in Shabbos says, if you're done people, the kav schus, they judge you, it doesn't mean if tzaddikim you judge favorably. That's a chiyuv. It doesn't mean if regular people do 50-50 ball, that's a chiyuv. You don't get dam the kav schus in Shemayim. If you want this brach lanius daiti, it's emes stika pshat in the Gemara Shabbos. If you want to be judged favorably in Shemayim, then regular people that do things that look pathetic, judge it positively. That and only then in Shemayim they dan you l'kav schus. That and only that. And that's what the Rambam says. Talmidei chacham adanes kol adam l'kav schus. Now it's not a shtick. Talmidei chachamim, like we've been speaking, they see the greatness in a human being. So every person, they see godless. They see in the Beinani the Tzelem Elokim, and they find that Nekuda, and they see the person's Akota. That's what tzaddikim do. That's Lefnim Mishar Sadin. The chiyuv on a regular person, you see them do something crazy, is I'm just not judging. I don't know. It's not my business. I ignore. You're in the pizza store and a guy cuts the line. You guys think I must have gone to Kosher World and had a terrible experience yesterday. I wasn't there yesterday. I was there yesterday, but I was in the deli, not the pizza store. But Lemaisa, Rabbi say, Lemaisa, if a guy cuts the line, there was nobody online. But if a guy cuts the line, a regular person, midaraisa, and it looked terrible. Midaraisa, the din is just don't judge. I don't know, none of my business. Move on. Think about another thing. Think about what's for supper, or enjoy your pizza. But the lefnim mishuras hadin, the above the line, what Talmidei Chachamim do is that danes kol adam l'kav zchus. Even when it looks l'chayva, when it looks negative, that dan l'kav zchus. Now I admit, in my pshat, it doesn't differentiate your friend or kol adam. I'm not resolving that. That diuk is a good diuk of the Chavetz Chaim. The Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvah says, judge l'kav zchus. He means 50-50 ball, sila taiv, or he means a tzaddik, who it's bad, you still judge favorably. Havedanes kol adam is that chumrah that it looks bad, that it pashut looks bad. Havedanes kol adam l'kav zchus. It pashut looks bad. There's a lifnim mishuras hadin. I don't say it on a Russia, by the way. I'm not convinced there's lifnim mishuras hadin to see a Russia this way. That's a private conversation. That's a separate conversation. But on a regular yid, there's lifnim mishuras hadin to be done as kol adam. It could look horrible. To see it favorably is lifnim mishuras hadin. Lani is daiti. This is pshat in the sugya. This precious mitzvah of seeing things favorably, of judging a yid favorably, so we have that which we're mechuyev to. I don't want anybody to think it's extra credit, but tzedek tishpat amisecha. A tzaddik even does something that looks bad, you have an obligation midaraisa to see that it was good. Spend the time. Don't think that you think. Sit down. Imagine at the pizza shop, a guy suddenly sits because he's actively thinking. It's so funny. Picture the tzaddik walks into the pizza shop. Picture the scene. I can't even fathom this, but like picture Uriel Ofek being aggressive at the pizza shop. Don't picture it. But if he does it, so people on the line are murmuring. There's one tzaddik who keeps the Torah. He sits down and he visualizes. He was in a rush. He had a pressing matter. He has to do it. He visualized, but tzedek tish, but that was a chiyuv on a tzedek. On a regular person, it's an absolute chiyuv. It's 50-50 to judge it favorably. If it looks bad, you're mechuyev not to judge him. Who can judge? Who can know? I'm not thinking about it. That's the din, my friends. That's law. That's not frumkeit. Lifnim mishuras hadin, above the letter of the law, people who are learning Musar and learning about midas taivas, the right midah, what Hashem wants from us. When we say above the letter of the law, we mean the law is supposed to bring us here. Kedoshim tiyu, what the law is bringing us to, what the law is developing. The person who understands the law is the pshat, that the person who's regular, and it's naita l'kav chayv, and it looks bad, that is what Talmidei Chachamim do. They judge him l'kav zchus. That's the Rambam in Hilchos Deis, that Talmidei Chachamim adanes kol adam l'kav zchus. They judge everybody favorably. That is the aspiration. We are learning. I don't like calling this Musar. We learn Torah. I really call it the two chalakim to Torah. There's the law. If we had a new name for this Seder, there's the law, and then there's Chasidus. What's the law telling me? What is the law trying to produce? We have a Seder where we study Torah, but we study the Kedushas HaTorah. No more Musa, this Kedushas HaTorah Seder. We don't want to be a Menuvel Bershus HaTorah. We're trying to figure out what the law is trying to create. The law is trying to create, Hashem wants to create a person who on a regular person is danim l'kav zchus, avidanis kol adam l'kav zchus. That's what it says in Avos. In Avos, you'll never find it says don't eat chazer, because that's a law. Avos is trying to say what produces the Talmud Chacham, the person who's a student to his Chachma, who delves deeply with Bina, with Das into the Chachma. That's what Avos is saying. Havedanes kol adam l'kav schus isn't an obligation, but tzedek tishpat amisechem. The answer the Mishnah says is danes kol adam l'kav schus. Even a regular yid who it looks bad, you say it taiv, you understand him, and you say his story with taiv. That is dam l'kav schus. As kol adam. That's what the Torah is trying to produce. If you do that, done in Oisay min Hashemayim l'kav schus, they judge us favorably. That Rabbi said, Lanius Daiti, that is the sugya that I want to share with the Chevra. I rarely ask guys to chazer. I ask you to please review this because the halachas are a little bit complicated. Get what's the din. It's very important to know what's the law, the letter of the law, and what the law, what Hashem wants us to be. The law, a tzaddik, even it looks bad, dam l'kav schus. A regular person, when it's 50-50, judge favorably, looks bad, don't judge. A rasha, you could judge negative. That's the law. Havedanes kol adam l'kav schus says, well, first we have the Chavetz Chaim. When you don't know if the guy's a tzaddik or rasha, the Chavetz Chaim says you don't have to judge him favorably. Lifnim mishur sadin is to judge him favorably. I have a lot of kashas on that, Chavetz Chaim. If it was true, I said safik daraisa l'chumra. If you tell me, well, you don't say safik daraisa l'chumra because a rasha you're not allowed, so why is it lifnim mishur sadin to do it? I have big kashas. I don't understand, but the Chavetz Chaim's words by me are final. That's what I think. But that's the Chavetz Chaim says, tough luck on my kashas. But I want to say as well, Avidanes kol adam l'kav schus. Judge everybody favorably is the chiyuv that a regular person, this is what Talmidei Chachamim and Chasidim is you and I, who have a seder where we want to acquire chasidus. We want to understand what the law is trying to produce. It judges the average person who does something. It sees the Beinani as somebody amazing. It sees him, and that is the chasidus of B'tzedek Tishpat Amisecha. When we say the chasidus, we mean that the law is trying to create a person who ultimately sees in the Beinani a tzaddik. But that's a process. We need to come to that. We follow the chiyuv, and eventually we come to that. So that is the short of this amazing sugya of dam l'kav schus, Rabbi say. I wanted to mention that tonight we have odes at 10 o'clock. We're having Ezra Schulman is running odes where guys read poems about each other. Everybody here is welcome to hop on and write an ode. I want this exercise because I want to get to Talmidei Chachamim, tight up people toiv. It's not just a cute exercise. It's not a cute game. It's an exercise to see another person, to see a person as a wonderful person. You're not writing, we have no pain in him. Talmidei Chacham Madanes Kol Adam L'kav Schus, they're not frummies. They're not frummies, Talmidei Chacham. They just perceive, they just see better. And they danes Kol Adam L'kav Schus, and they sing odes about everybody. So anybody's welcome. Ezra will run at 10 o'clock on this same channel. We'll have the normal 8:30 of us, but Ezra will run where guys will write. Anybody who has one. It has to be for a bacher. Could be for any bacher. It can't be. If somebody has the name Rebbe attached to his name. Could be a married guy too, a young man. It can't be for somebody who has a title called Rabbi. And to write odes for one another, a song, a rap, a poem. But Avada, we do this with the Chevra. I want a guy to be a Talmud Chacham, to understand the Amkus of B'tzedek Tishpat Amisecha, to see greatness in the next person. That's what I want a person to understand. Ezra Schulman, Shalom Aleichem, how are you?
Great. Unbelievable. Can you hear me?
For some reason, one more time. Ezra? Try again. I think my own volume's off. 1 second. I'm not hearing. Time out for a second. I love this picture, Chevra. You talk a speech about Dan Lekav Schus. I was thinking about Avrami Pupka. I'm going to go back to him. Speak up, Avrami. What's with you? And this is how we live life. My volume was off. I tightened on him, and my volume's off. What a situation, Tzvi Davidson. Mamish, look how we live our lives. My volume's off, and I tighten on him. Avrami, you're back on. Talk. Let me hear your beautiful voice. I want to hear you. I need to hear you, Avrami. Now, it was me. It was not you, Avrami. Unmute. Could you try one more time, Avrami? I think it was me.
There it goes. Do you hear me now?
Oh,
yes.
I hear you. It was me, not you, Avrami. The rest of the Chevra heard you before.
Oh, wow. Good to hear from you, Rabbi. It's a pleasure.
Avrami, think how we live life. I'm sitting here. The man's not talking, and everybody knew Kalish was wrong. Like, Avrami, talk. He's talking. You just don't have your sound on. B'tzedek tishbar amisecha. Turn on your sound, you Yid. You just don't have your sound on. You beautiful Yid, Avrami.
Yeah.
The whole thing's better because you hear when it's 25 days of Aimer. When it's mutter to do music, I want you playing your gorgeous song next Tuesday, right. Wednesday, or Thursday. Avrami, I appreciate.
It's really quiet out here. It's really, really quiet out here. I miss the boys and everything around it. So I'm excited.
I miss you a lot. A virtual hug, Avrami. Thank you. I love you, Avrami. Thank you, Avrami. Thank you. Let's unmute Ezra Schulman. You're unmuted.
Hello. You hear me?
Yeah, Ezra, you hear my guy? I told Yaakov today, like Yaakov was busy. I got it down, and people are trying to talk. Yeah. Yeah. How are you, Ezra?
Amazing. A+.
Are you fired up? It's your show tonight.
I'm very fired up. Extremely, incredibly fired up. More fired up than I've been in a long time.
Good, yeah, I'm excited. It's all yours tonight.
Can we just make sure that Matt's there?
Please make sure. Please make sure. Matt's there. Aryeh Weiss said he's coming on. The judges are you and Aryeh. If you want to add Matt or if Ezzy, you pick your other judges. You and Aryeh so far the Dayanim. B'tzedek tishbar amisecha. You're the Dayanim.
I'm ready to rumble.
There are big prizes at stake. It's a lot of money being offered out, so judge it well.
I'm sure the boys will come to play tonight.
Oh, I know in my home there's some odes flying, but good. Thank you, Ezra.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get on. Yitzhak race, I'm excited for tonight. It's obvious Ezra Yitzi's one of the judges, but I just was worried that would preclude him from writing one. Yitzi, how are you? I'm just kidding, guys. I didn't hear him either. I don't know if you did. I didn't hear you. See, I don't know if that's mine or yours.
Did Rabbi hear me now?
Oh, do I hear you? Thank you, Yitzhak. Are you fired up for tonight's odes?
I'm excited. I may be a little late, so I may have to write some and send them in, but I'm going to see.
Write-ins are welcome. Yitzhak. Was the pshat clear enough about Dan Lekav Schus? Clear enough, Raid?
Yeah.
Thank you, Yitzhak. Chaim and Shlomo, you're unmuted. Excellent. Well planned, guys. Well planned. You'll tell me later whose idea that was, but that was excellent. Was it clear enough, the raid on Dan Lekav Schus?
Yeah. Love it.
Excellent. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for being here, and thank you so much for all the hana you're giving us constantly. Thank you, Chaim. Thank you, Shlomo. Let us find Yaakov. I'm going to have Yaakov do this work. If you can look down, if Matt is here today, guys, what time is on me? We're just looking for Matt. Oh, right here. I found you, Matt. You are
Rabbi, I'm always here. I'm
you?
always here. It's like 10 o'clock. Will I be here? Obviously, where else will I be? You know what I mean? Of course I'll be there. Of course.
How are you, Matt?
Unbelievable. This was some sheer. This is beautiful.
Was
So
it clear enough, Matt?
beautiful. Well, obviously, we have to hear it at least another 10 to 100 times to really get it. But that was beautiful.
Could you sing something, Geschmack, Matt?
Yeah, Rabbi, are we allowed to like bang our hands along on something to?
Yeah, please do. Please
Yeah?
do. Please do.
Okay, where can I prop it up? Okay, right here on the side. At least you'll get some face, right? Oy mi chamoycha bal gevuray su mi dai melach 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 oy melech mei mesumecha umatmiach Yeshua Melech mei mesumecha umatmiach Yeshua. The reason why it's like Baal Gevurah is it's not like I was speaking with my twin this morning. He told me something so interesting about how like it's called a bar mitzvah. That's someone that's like that's his thing. He's a bar mitzvah as opposed to like the lashon of Baal Gevurah. Just to me, that's like an attribute that he had. That's not like we shouldn't look at Hashem like he's Gevurah, like then he's scary. You know, it's like an attribute. Bari refuah. On the other hand, I was thinking to myself, that's like he created refuah. Then you could look at him as a healer, big time. But Gevurah, he has it in him and he uses it at the right time. That's the beauty of Hashem, Michamacha Ba'al Gevurah, because he really knows how to use it. That's something we got to look up to, and that's a whole life's work to really know how to use it. Mi Dai Melech, who can compare ourselves to Hashem?
Excellent, excellent. One more time. I like that song. One more time, the song. Well, now I have the pshat also.
Let me get a good key. I have to really get a good key over here to really sing a geschmack. You can't sing things right away. You know, when we start things too fast, it's like take it a little step back, you know. Mi chamoycha bal gevuray su mi dai melach mi chamoycha bal gevuray su mi dai melach oy mi chamoycha bal gevuray su mi dai melach mi chamoycha bal gevuray su mi dai melach oy melech mei mesumecha umatmiach Yeshua oy melech mei mesumecha umatmiach Yeshua. It's a beautiful niggun. This is an old Shlomo niggun, obviously, and it really takes us to the high heights and really gives us like, you know, some niggunim, like technically, like a lot of people who are hearing this, maybe they didn't know what the words mean and stuff, but you know what it means as soon as you hear the niggun, you know what it's talking about good and well. You know what I mean?
Excellent call. That was gorgeous. Thank you, man. I can't wait till we can unleash you with the guitar and with the whole.
I can't wait to give you a hug, Rabbeinu.
I'm looking forward. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. I'm looking forward for that. Rabbi, I want to welcome Yair Danziger's here. I want to, on behalf of Benny Stein and the whole Chevra, thank you, Benny, for being here. I want to wish a mazel tov to Yair. He should have the bris should be the ita of his manai. Should be gadol his son the Torah the chokol the meisim tovim asach nachas. Him and his wife should have gesund panas a yishuv adas and raise a beautiful family. Mazel tov Yair. Thank you Yossi Eisenberger for being here. Eli Meir Martin, thank you for being here. Akon, thank you for being here. Rabbi Shmuley Schlesinger is here. Mati, I wanted to ask you for a minute. Mati.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Aleichem shalom. The Chavetz Chaim, who says if you're misopik, you're not mechoyev tam lekav schos. Why isn't it a suffix deraisa? He might be a benini. Why does he assume you're not mechoyev? And he says that's lefnim mishur sadin. That's suffix deraisa l'chumra.
I thought maybe it sounded like you were saying like there's no chiyuv ever on the suffix. The whole chiyuv is only on the person that is not the suffix, really. And as much
what
as it's a
about
suffix,
suffix deraisa l'chumra?
there's no, and as much as it's a suffix, then there's no chiyuv.
Wow. It's like a vaday amisecha. But tzedek tishman amisecha, he's doch not amisecha if you don't know. Wow, interesting, fascinating. The Chavetz Chaim says it. I struggle with it. I hear what you're saying. I would say it's doch a suffix amisecha. So it's a suffix deraisa l'chumra. Clearly, he's not holding that way. He says you have no chiyuv. Let's see Akiva balls him as a question. Let's see Akiva. Thank you for that word, Mati. I knew you'd have a word. Yaakov was mechaven to you.
I got unmuted.
Rabbi Akiva Shlita. Rabbi Akiva.
Yeah.
Rabbi Akiva. How are you? What do you hold, Rabbi Akiva?
Unbelievable. First of all, I love today's shir and yesterday's shir. Unbelievable. And I love the pshat why Leisitar Leisikim comes before V'Yaflerecha Kumaycha. I thought that was genius.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to clarify with Rebbe, if you see a Beinani and it's 50-50, it doesn't look like a bad action, but it looks like it's 50-50. Everybody agrees you're Mechuyev Deraisa to Dana Makav Schos?
Yeah, that's how we paskin. Everybody agrees is strong words. That's how I'm paskining.
And what was the Machlekes Rabbeinu Yoina and the Rambam?
I'm just claiming. I don't want to say machlokes. I'm saying the Rambam's adding. I'm not saying it's a machlokes. I'm saying the Rambam's adding to Rabbeinu Yoina a lifnei mishur sadin. Either the Chavetz Chaim on the Safek guy, or what we're saying is on the guy that looks l'kav chayv. Rabbeinu Yoina says you mechuyev not to judge. The Rambam's meisif a lifnei mishur sadin. The only part I said was like a chiddush of Rabbeinu Yoina. I don't know if he's masking to the lifnei mishur sadin, because the Gemara Shabbos says if you judge others favorably, they judge you in Shemayim. Rabbeinu Yoina brings that on the chiyuv down the kav schus, and I'm claiming in the Rambam that's on the Haisafa. Shimi Schiller's asking a kasha kivi. He's saying you're allowed to say lashon safek because it says le'seich rachel ba'misecha. Is he asking a kasha?
Why is that something to Safek?
Shimi's like saying if Mati's right, it should be allowed to say lashon hara on a guy you're not sure. Because le'seich rachel ba'misecha. Is Shimi saying you're allowed, or he's asking a petmiya? This is the problem with texts. It does. I don't know if it's betmiya or benichus akiva. Let's get Shimi up here. It's getting lebedik. Where's Shimi? I love that Talmud Chacham.
Rabbi, even if you hold it's lefnei mishur sadin, by a 50-50, are you? It's just that you don't have to like. What's the halacha again? If by a 50-50, Rabbi said
you're mechoyev on a regular person to think favorably.
But I thought we said that's lefnei mishur sadin according to the Rambam.
If it looks bad. If it looks bad on a regular, then lefnei mishur sadin. Shemler.
Yeah, I think it's bitmiya. It says amisecha mechol all over Tanakh.
Shimi, I love you. Shimi, up top. I was scared stiff. I was arguing on Mati and Yaakov Kalish. Now it's me and Shems. What a war. What a war today.
Upper Adi Tapas Tapas Ragla, but it says all over Tanakh.
Shots, the world, Gavriel Gradko, the world, I'm overwhelmed. Shots are flying. Shemi Schiller holds if you're Mesopik, so then Savik Daraisa L'chumra. It's Shimi Schiller against Mati Dahan and the Chavetz Chaim. I'm losing my mind. And Yaakov's on Mati's side. I don't know what to do. Somebody quickly sing a song. Sing two songs. Shimi, what are you saying, Shims?
Everywhere, there's millions of places in Tanakh. It says Amecha Reyacha. I don't think we say you want to speak Lashon Hara because you're a Savik. Every Savik that writes, it says that all over Tanakh. We never find you could say it as long as you're in doubt. So be in doubt your whole life and curse everyone because lo sar nasi b'amecha. You might be not be amecha. You might have
I like what Shimmy's saying. I thought like Shimmy, but the Chavetz Chaim doesn't agree to us. He says, I don't know why. I don't know what his source is. The Chavetz Chaim holds, if you don't know a guy, he has a good diak, not like me and Shimmy. The Rambam says, Chavercha, then I don't know if they're saying the universal word in Amisecha. Somehow this halacha that you're supposed to see him tight if you don't know. By the way, they don't say to see him bad. They say not to judge. Yeah, it looks like we do it. Yeah. Rabbi said, I'm like overwhelmed here. The shots, Gavi, Lighter, Kobe. This is Shmully Shus for having like overwhelmed of you. Half of a fella. Torah is beautiful. Torah is beautiful. Akiva, this is wild today. This is like a lost camp experience, Akiva. We're getting like, exciting, Rabbi say. It's just, Yehuda's with us. I'm so happy Yehuda's here for this fight, this epic fight. Rabbi said there's what to work on. I don't know the Pesher Adover. I know what the Chavetz Chaim says, and Mati, Dahan, and Yaakov all on one side. By me, the Chavetz Chaim says it's game over. That's how I work. Mati and the Chavetz Chaim, now it's like season over. But then Shimmy Schiller, Shimmy's words by me are big. So I'm very misupik here. I came to report the news. I want to get the halachas well, which we have. We have the Lefnim Mishur Sadin, the goal of what we're striving for. I don't want guys to forget that either. All of us. Arya Barnett is a good, is then say, Damakavs is your Mesivta, that actually is good to be in, and you look and say it's good here for you don't know.
The whole bit is on the suffix.
Arya, you're a genius, Arya. Arya, you're gewaldig, Arya Barnett. Tremendous, Arya. This sugya is gorgeous. Ruben, I'm overwhelmed. Benny Stein, I'm so happy you're here for this Kiddush Shamayim. It's Torah. Every person weigh in on an opinion. Have an opinion, Chevra. Jump in. There's a fight going on. Jump in. Everybody can be ma'ayin. I want to hear answers, Chevra. I don't want to resolve it here. I want the Chevra. Srili Kader, help. Jump in, Rabbi say. I would unmute the whole island, but we won't hear anybody. It would be one big shouting match. But I ask everybody to think about it. We have a fascinating sugya. But I want you, if you're thinking about the sugya, then judge people favorably. Remember, the Lefnimish, that's unquestionable, is that Lefnim Mishur Sadin, on Kol Yehudi v'Yehudi, Hamidanes Kol Adam, Mati, Shimi, and the Chavetz Chaim, I think, agree with me on this point, that on a regular person, Avidanes Kol Adam, L'kav Schus, they do something that's Naita L'chayv, Lefnim Mishur Sadin, Rabbeinu Yoina Rambam, Kol Yehudi's Maida. That's the Rambam, the Talmud Chachams, Danes Kol Adam, L'kav Schus.
The whole bit is how you know.
Ani wants me to respond to Aryeh. I'm like, completely, I need Yaakov Zogib. There's a lot of svaras here.
The whole mitzvah had to be made. The whole mitzvah had to be made in the suffix. So
yeah.
It's
It's not what Aryeh, what the Chevra is saying is it's not called the Svek Sveka. That's the din. It's not a din of suffix. That's the din. It's good raid. It's good raid. I'm like overwhelmed. Yaakov saying brilliant svars. Aryeh, Aaron Metz, thank you for being here. All of us should come. Avi Walaski, thank you for coming for the action. Sometimes we end like we're like right in the middle of a sugya, but keep the sugya on your mind. And you see, you do anything, see in favor. Like Danis Kol Adam L'kav Schus. Of course, do it, Rabbi say. Yaakov's been zustelling the Schmeitzes, Mati. So there's a lot. The guys can learn Shev Schmeitzer. We're learning Shev Schmeitzer. We're doing wild things here. But I'm happy it happened. We're learning Torah, Rabbi say. Torah v'lilmud ani tzarech. I thank everybody so much for joining. Be'ez Hashem, 8:30 tonight. We'll continue in Avos. We're nearing the end, Binny, of the first parak. We have to have a big party. We finished the first parak of Avos. Avrami Pupko. The whole thing became better. I asked Baruch Levin to have a guest appearance to celebrate and sing. Pashtus, he's coming on Lag Ba'omer next Tuesday. I figured to hear the Guris and Baruch Levin, it's like, but it's worthy of learning together with the Chevra. So Rabbi Say will continue to meet tonight at 8:30. 10 o'clock is odes, songs, praises, riddles, rhymes, poems about each other. Let's continue to be Mekayim B'tzedek Tishbar Amisecha. See good in Yenim, see Tzedkus. This whole thing wasn't Lemaista, that we're Vadai, there are no Risham amongst the Yidden, we're not involved with Risham. B'tzedek Tishbar Amisecha. See everybody, see the good in everybody. Have an outstanding day, Rabbi Say. Kol Tov.